we have to make $270 in 30 spins. I would say that we're probably not going to make our target on a scale of 1 to 10. Right now, I'd give this a solid. Hello, Wheel Masters, and welcome back to Mastering the Wheel. Today, we're not going to be doing the bankroll building challenge. I'm going to be taking a quick break from it just because, well, honestly, today's been a crazy day and overall a crazy week, and I just don't have the time today to sacrifice my PC to wait for a trigger to fire for the progression that I love to use for when we're doing the bankroll building challenge. So what I'm going to do today instead is we're going to be testing a new strategy. One of my subscribers had suggested a couple of weeks ago that I test the strategy on the channel, and I told him that I would, so I thought today'd be a great day to do that. So what we're going to be doing today is testing this 22 number coverage strategy. And so I'll explain the details as we get into it. But before we do get into the video, if you guys don't mind hitting that subscribe button and the like button, it does help out the channel a great deal, and I do very much appreciate it. So thank you very much for that. Now let's get right into it. So as you guys know, I do love to use my program BetMaster. And if you guys are new to the channel, BetMaster is a program that I wrote that helps me play my roulette game. And today we're going to be using BetMaster to basically test a progression at the live wheel, which is one of the coolest features about the program. Besides the fact that you can actually build a progression right inside the program, any custom progression you want, and have the program automatically execute the bets for you on that progression, we can actually test progressions at the live wheel without actually risking any real money. So very cool feature, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So let me build a progression for you. I'll show you how that works, and then we'll go ahead and play it here at the live wheel. So I'm going to go into my progression builder and click on create. And we're going to name this one, we'll name it 22 numbers test. And let's build it. So we're going to go into the edit button, and we're going to make all groups or any group wins. And then the first thing we're going to do is select single numbers. And we're going to be betting on the hottest 22 numbers. If you guys know how I like to play, I like to place my bets where the ball is landing. So that's what we're going to be doing. And the unit size is going to be $1. And part of the system that my subscriber had suggested was betting on 22 numbers. He wants a 24 unit bet, but on 22 numbers. So we're going to be placing 2 of our units on kind of bonus numbers, right? So what we're going to do is create another bet group, and I'm going to select single numbers again. And we're going to bet the first one on the hottest number. And so that'll be a $1 bet there. And we're going to bet the next one on the second hottest number. I'm just making sure everything is set up properly here. Yeah, so we'll go to single numbers. We're going to select second hottest, and we'll make that $1. Oh, sorry. No, we don't want that. We want one of those. We want $1 bet. And $1, $1. And this one has to be set to 22. I forgot to set that. I knew I was missing something. Okay, so we've got 22 numbers covered here on the hottest with a $1 unit. And then we've got the hottest, one of the hottest is going to get an additional $1, and then the second hottest is going to get an additional $1. Okay, so that is our level 1. Perfect. Now we're just going to copy that level, and we're going to edit. And now when I play like 24 number systems, I typically just triple my bet on a loss. So that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to triple our bet. So I'm going to triple that one. And because these are bonus numbers, I don't necessarily need to triple them. I think for this very first one, I'm going to double it. So we'll just do that. And that. And then everything stays the same. Okay, we'll go ahead and copy that level. And then again, for the main ones, we're going to triple them. So that'll be 9. And I'm going to leave those bonus numbers right where they are for this level. No need to bump them up. They are bonus numbers. In fact, well, you know what? I will add one more unit to the bonus numbers. I'll make that 3. And then I'll make that one 3. I didn't really get any direction as to how deep the progression should go or how big the bonuses should get. It was really just, make a 22 number system with 2 bonus numbers. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm kind of making it up as we're going along here. And so this one here will be 27. And let's add 2 units to these guys. How's that? Some nice bonuses if we hit those. And then, yeah, okay, that looks good. And then we'll do one more level. And for this one, it's going to be 81 units. This one is a big one. And then for these, let's just go 7 units. And yeah, we'll just do that. There we go. Some nice bonuses if we hit those. Okay. Oh, and I have to set this to stop placing bets if it loses. And that's everything. So at the peak, it's going to be a $1,700 bet for that, almost $1,800 for that last level. And let's go find out what the total cumulative bet is going to be right over here. So we're going to need almost $2,700 with dollar units. So that's actually pretty expensive. Now you can bring this down to $270 with 10-cent units or $27 with 1-cent units. But yeah, this is kind of expensive. But let's see what happens, right? So we basically need to make $270. I like to go 10%. And that's not the be all end all. I'm actually going to show you our stopping point, and this is going to be one of the determining factors if I would ever even play this progression with real money. Okay. So let me just set this up first. We need 2698. So I'm going to go over here and change this to a 2698, and the stop win is going to be, we're just going to call this $270. 2698, and we can save that just like that. Okay. Now here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to open up. This is my website, and I've got a progression calculator on it. I'm just going to open that up. And now we can put in the amount of coverage that we're going to have. So we've got a 22 number coverage. So this is going to give us, this is a formula that's going to tell us how long we should stay at the window or how long we can stay at the window safely. So I'm going to go ahead and, sorry, did I say stay at the window? I meant stay at the wheel. It's going to give us a window we can stay at the wheel safely. So basically, this progression on average will fail once every 152 spins. That's its mathematical average. Of course, it can happen sooner, and of course it can take longer, but over a large enough sample of spins, you'll see that on average, 22 numbers a 22 number system will fail every 152 spins. Okay, so what that gives us then is a budget, a spin budget of 30 spins. That's how long we're going to stay at the wheel for. After 30 spins, we leave whether we made our $270 or not. So we're hoping to make $270 before we get to 30 spins. And this is going to be one of the determining factors as to whether the system is even worth playing or not, because the longer you spend at the wheel to make your money, the higher the chances are of your system busting, right? So this is one of the ways that I mitigate risk. So knowing this, now I can go in and start to play, and we'll see just how safe this system is. All right, so, oh, you know what? I need to do a couple of things first. We're going to start up data collection. Almost forgot about the main part here, and we do have to get some data in here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a screenshot of the history. And save that. And let's bring it into BetMaster now. And we've got 88 numbers. Perfect. Okay, and you can see the last number here is 17, but we didn't get the 27. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that manually. Now we've got 27 numbers, and we have now got the data. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and start up a new session, and we'll just call this the same thing, 22 numbers test. And we're going to give ourselves a $2,700 bankroll. we'll open up the advanced stats tab and get our filter set to hot. Just bring that over here. Okay, and yeah, perfect. Now we are good to go. Now, like I said, guys, we are going to be playing with simulation mode. I'm just going to go ahead and reset the page first so we get a nice fresh clock. This will give us 20 minutes before we get paused for inactivity. I can always refresh the page again in between. And now I'm going to go ahead and activate safety mode, activate the progression. And now as soon as that spin is detected, you're going to see our bets get populated up here in the history window, but no real chips are actually going to be placed on the table. And there it goes. Okay, so we got all of our chips placed. You can see we've got $24 placed in bets, and that's exactly what we had, $24 on 22 numbers. And let's see what happens. So we have to make $270 in 30 spins. And we had zero covered. There we go. So there's our first win, and that'll make us an easy $12. So we basically need to win. You know, I'm quickly doing the math in my mind right now, and we basically need to win one every second spin to get to our spin target. So, you know, like 10 wins in a row will give us, mind you, that's level 1 wins. We win more at the higher levels, so that'll mitigate some of that, but well, we'll see how we do. We'll see how we do. And there we go, 2 wins in a row. I mean, you know, covering, well, 22 numbers, it's almost 2/3 of the wheel, so we're expected to win, I guess, just under 2 out of 3 spins on average, right? Of course, it doesn't always work out that way, but we'll see. But yeah, this is one of the ways. Whenever I'm trying out new systems, this is one of the ways I do it. I don't know about you guys, but I hate going to random number generators when I want to test a new system. You know, they don't give you real world results. Um, you know, I've collected thousands and thousands of spins, tens, hundreds of thousands of spins. You know, in live wheel spins, and I use a back tester to test strategies. And I've done the same thing with simulated spins, and it's not the same. When I'm looking at live spins, you can I don't well you can kind of predict. I was going to say I don't want to use the word predict, but really you can predict how often something is going to happen. Like if something has an average failure rate of say once every 50 spins, in spin samples that are 1,000 spins, when I back test a strategy that will fail on average every 50 spins, that's exactly what it fails in every 50 spins. When I'm doing this on live wheel spins. When I do it on random number generator generated spins, it's all over the place. Um, you know, so that's the first indication that it's not simulating what actually happens in the real world. Um, so yeah, you know, there's something to be said about that. Um, so you know, if you're testing new strategies, you really want to do test in the environment that you're planning on playing in, and you know, if you normally play at a random number generator, then I guess it really doesn't matter. But that said, I've also found, and I've heard, you know, anecdotal stories from players who say that when they play at random number generators that are free, they get very different results compared to random number generators when they're actually playing with real money, and I believe that because you know it's just a line of code, right? They can choose to profit however much they want off of an electronic, you know, random number generator. Um, So the results might be more optimistic on a free one than they would be on one where you're actually playing with real money. Um, so just something to be aware of. And and yeah, so that's the cool advantage about this program, is that we can test our strategies right at the live wheel. And did we have 28 covered? We did have 28 covered. So there's another win, and that was um, I'm not sure what level we were on there, but we had a win, and we're already at $64. We've got a 57% win rate, which is right around where we should be with 22 number coverage. A little bit lower, but in the range. We're going on to spin 8 right now. And there's the 4. Did we have the 4 covered? Yes, we did have the 4 covered. Now, when that is placing bets, it places them in the order of heat. So the 4 was right at the tail end of that hot list. But, I mean, so far so good. Way to go. 22 number test. I didn't even know what to call the system. So since we're testing it and it's 22 numbers, it just seemed appropriate. And 34. 34, I don't see it on the list. That may be a loss. Looks like it is, yeah. So going on to level 2 now. And it looks like the farthest we've been down is level 3. You can see it where it dipped into the red there. So what do you guys think of number generators? Leave a comment. Have you had any experience, with anything that I was talking about? Do you find that there's a difference between random number generators and the live wheel? Let me know what you think. And that was a 32, so we did have that covered. So there's a recovery, and up to $90. Wow. We are, 1/3 of the way to our target. And we're actually exactly 1/3 into our spin budget. We've got 10 spins down now and $90, and we're going for, I think I said 270. Yeah, going for 270. So we're exactly 1/3 from that budget. So everything's lining up that way, but I mean, things are going really well too. If we have a couple of deep progressions, it might not work out as well. Mind you, like I said earlier, we do get paid more when we go deeper. Part of the benefit's the fact that we're tripling the bet on every level, and we're only betting on 22 numbers rather than 24, so we get some extra profit at each level. All right, well, spin 12, just over $100. And it does not look like we have the 10 covered. If you guys are curious about Betmaster, wanted to check it out, if you like what you see, it is available. You can get it at www.betmaster-data.com. There's an FAQ there that you can hopefully have all of your questions answered. But if not, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them here in the comments. And also in the description, a link to my Discord is there. We're a very fast growing community, and tons of members are already using Betmaster, and they love it. We are all over the world now. I've got members in every country, on every continent, except for Africa. I don't think we're in Africa yet, but yeah, we are all over the world and having a great time with it. So if you want to join the club, by all means, you don't need to be a Betmaster member to be part of the Discord. But being part of that Discord, you'll be able to see how people are doing with the program and what's going on, and join the conversation. Our members are very friendly. Everybody likes to talk, and share the results. So yeah, it's a good time. And so you guys will be watching this on Sunday. And so yesterday, I just had a live training. I just released 3 new tools. One of the tools you guys saw me use here today when we were analyzing um, the risk for this progression. But there's another tool that I released that is like it's a progression builder basically. It's a progression calculator. You can build whatever you want on it, and it tells you what the payout is at every level. And it's very easy to use. It's really cool if you're curious about the progression that you want to build. You can build it there and get all of the math, all the payout, everything right in front of you before you actually go and try this at the casino. So pretty cool feature. And then so those two tools are free: the progression calculator and the risk calculator, which is what we used for this program today, or for this progression. But the other tool is for our tier 2 and tier 3 members, and what that tool is a back tester. And the reason why it's only for tier 2 or tier 3 members is because you need elements from Betmaster to use it. Basically, so in Betmaster, as you know, you can build a progression. So you can drop progression files right into the backtester. And then any data that you collect from Betmaster, which like right now we're collecting data, every spin it monitors is data collected. And like I'll just let my program run all night and collect 1,000 spins and then put that into my data bank. And then you can add those spins to the back tester, and then you can test strategies on it and see how they would have fared out over time. And this is where you really get to see what happens at the live wheel over time with your strategy, and you get a feel for what's going to happen on average. And this is how I've been able to refine my game. And that's where I learned about using the system failure that I use. If you guys have been watching my videos, the bankroll building challenge, I use a progression in there where I have a trigger I call system failure, and the whole idea is entering um, entering the game when the statistics, or when the wheel is statistically stretched. So like if a rare event happens, the chances of that rare event happening again immediately are mathematically statistically slim, right? Not impossible, but slim. So that's the whole idea. And the lights came on for me about using the system failure by backtesting strategies and seeing, okay, well, after a system fails, that has a specific failure rate, on average, it doesn't fail right away again for at least X amount of spins. That all depends on the failure rate of the system. So in this case, with the strategy that I use on the bankroll building challenge, it has a failure rate of, on average, 1 every 216 spins. And so it can fail sooner, and it does fail sooner. I wouldn't say a lot, but enough. And but it doesn't fail that soon. I can typically get 14 wins in before it does fail again, and 14 wins only takes roughly 30 spins. Um, so that said, I was able to predict, essentially by backtesting strategies, how often a system would fail in its short end on average, and then refine my strategy based on that. And that's where I came up with the 10%, by the way. Trying to get a 10% goal isn't an arbitrary number. I found that 20% is almost impossible to get consistently. Now, maybe there's a strategy out there that you guys use that you can get 20% consistently, and if you do have one, I'd love to hear about it. But so far, with the strategies that I use, you can win with 20%, absolutely, right? Just like you can double your bankroll, but I mean, it's impossible to do that consistently, right? Whereas I found that I can consistently win more with 10%. Right? I have a higher win rate on average, and I know it's easy to say that. Well, when you have a smaller goal, of course you're going to win more, and that is true. Of course you are going to win more. But what I find is that in the long run, I tend to keep more as well, right? I stretch out my profits longer. I tend to be up for longer. And that's the whole idea, is to overall win more and essentially lose less. And 10% I find does that. And besides the 10%, entering at statistically opportune moments, like I was just saying, come in right after the system fails and leave before it fails again. And I've been able to use back testing and learn about what happens on average to make some of the decisions that I make when I play roulette. So anyway, I went rambling on about all that stuff, but the point is this is all from the tools that I just released yesterday. And yeah, we had a live session on Discord, and as of now, I haven't shown everybody how to use them. This is Friday night for me, so tomorrow I'm going to be doing that. But for you, it'll be yesterday, and yeah, so I'm sure it'll be a good time. And yeah, everyone's going to know how to analyze their strategies, and yeah, learn some of the stuff that I did. And so far, guys, I mean, we're not doing too bad. We're at spin 22, but I would say that we're probably not going to make our target. And it could be close. It could definitely be close with hottest 18. So we have a 43 spin budget. Well, I round it down to 40, and at 40 spins, I can typically win that progression no problem within 30 spins. So I still have 25% left of my spin budget on average, and since this is taking me so close to my spin budget, um, you know, I don't know. Like it just I prefer a more robust or safer system. Um, when I create that spin budget for a reason, right? And it's for safety. And if I get like with the hottest 18, when I'm getting close to the end of my spin budget, I've gone deeper into the progression a few times. Like if I go to spin 38, 39, then I've seen level 5 at least a couple of times. Um, I can do that progression sometimes without ever seeing level 4, right? It's smooth sailing, level 1, level 2, sometimes level 3. And then in those cases, I'm winning at like 25 spins, 30 spins. But once I start getting above 30 spins, I know that I'm already having a rough time. And yeah, so I don't know, getting close to the spin budget. We are at a 50% win rate right now, too, which is also not very good considering we're recovering 22 numbers. We should be closer to 60%. Um, just some things I'm noticing, that's all. And these are some of the metrics I look at when I'm determining if I actually want to play a system for real money. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like to lose my money. I don't play roulette for fun. I play roulette to win. And, it's I have to be careful about what I say. The algorithm doesn't like me saying certain things, so I'm not going to go there. But the gist of it is, I don't like to lose my money, and I do play roulette, to not lose. And I think you guys probably agree as well, right? I don't think when you sit down, you're like, okay, today's the day that I'm going to lose because I owe the casino some money. I won too much already. I don't think that's the case, right? So there's ways you can mitigate your risk, and just understanding the probabilities behind what you're doing. Um, it does help. The whole idea in the end really is to try to lose less, right? And even if you don't beat the casino, which mathematically is impossible to do, at least try to lose less. Yeah, when you just apply the strict math to roulette in an infinite amount of spins, if you were to sit there for an infinite amount of spins, then mathematically, um, you are going to lose. It's a negative expected value game, right? But the key and operative phrases were in that sentence there was um, in an infinite amount of spins, right? We don't sit for an infinite amount of spins. We can choose when we enter and we can choose when we leave. And that changes everything. Well, I mean, we might actually make our target, guys. I mean, we're close to our spin budget. But what are we at now? Well, we're at 28 spins. So, because this is, simulation mode, I'm going to let it go all the way. We'll see how much over we go. It looks like we're definitely going to go over. You know, there's no way we're going to get to 270 in 2 spins, even if we win the next two. We're only going to get $24. Zero, we have zero covered. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, you know what? If we win this next spin, we are going to make our budget. We'll just have made it because we're getting $12 on a spin, right? And we're $12 away from 270. So, I mean, talk about close, right? 30 spins, that's not bad. You know, that's not bad. I would say based on what I saw here right now, you know, the progression has potential. I would like to see it in more testing. As a first test, we just hit our goal. So as a first test, I think that this progression did pretty well. You know, I don't really have a rating system for what I'm doing yet, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever. But I would say right now I'd give this a solid 6.5, maybe a solid 7. I'm just going to go ahead and bring that page back up for a quick second. But yeah, solid 6.5 to 7. You know, it did all right. We got to our spin target exactly. We hit our financial target exactly. So you can't complain about that. You know, pretty smooth sailing. We didn't go too deep in the progression. I think we only saw level 3. By the looks of it, we saw level 3 twice. No, sorry, 3 times. So, you know, that was pretty good. I'll see how it does more, and we'll go from there. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help me out a lot, and I do very much appreciate it. The next video coming up, we're going to continue with the bankroll challenge, and we're going to be on day 18 in that next video. So looking forward to that, and I guess that's it for today, guys. So take care. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.
It's not luck, it's math. The count, watch the pressure build, then pounce. Same wheel spin, same house game, but knowledge shifts, who feels the pain? Bedmaster on, I don't guess tonight. I wait for the edge, then strike it right. They call it chance, I call it proof. Numbers don't lie, the math goes through.